For we live for your pleasure, we live for your will, we live for your glory. Yeah, so tonight, once again, let your pleasure prosper in our midst. Speak to our heart that we will be established and strengthened in you. We thank you, we praise you, we bless you. In Yahushua mighty name. Amen. Hallelujah. Okay, so who would like to give the first testimony tonight? Testimony. Nothing.
I want to thank Abba for providing a new job for my sister. Been praying for her because she worked as a nurse, this nurse in the clinic. No increment, no bonus, and then the time, the work hours is like very constrained. She don't have freedom. Then she tried to get a job, but because she only have limited qualification, so very difficult to get a job. And then I pray for her also. And then the day one of my aunties, one of the aunties, she meet people in the, because she run the nursery kindergarten. So she one of the staff left. So she asked my sister whether one interested to join her. And I just immediately take the opportunity. I think it's very rapid since she's offering me. So she giving her 2,000, and then 5 days work. Because she want the desire to spend more time with my mom. Because now the clinic, the time is so long, she hardly have time for my mom. Even want to go back to her dinner, so difficult. I have to see the boss place, very difficult. Now she's more happy and more relaxed. She was, because of the work of stress, got hyper pressure. So I asked her how is the only work. Very good, very relaxed, not so stressful. So I thank Abba for providing her the job.
Yes, Abba. So she's a believer, eh?
No, she's a Catholic.
Catholic.
She's a Catholic. She married my brother-in-law. He's a Buddhist.
Oh, or the one who do the mechanic. Oh. Yeah, Michelle, what's your story? Huh? Katie, what's your story? Huh? Oh, it's so no problem lah. No problem, no testing, no trouble. Smooth, right?
Good.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay, just thank God for my new job because I never expect when I was called for interview. Actually, through app like one of the doctors called me. Call me. So he said, "Do you mind if you interview you through the phone?" So I told him the job in my bank. I said, "Oh, I'm going to retire soon. You want to employ me?" So I'm quite elderly age already. But if you don't mind about age one, then he said he'll call me back and things like that. So I think he said he'll talk to the boss. That's my lady boss. So then after that we were called to Sarah Heights to interview me. So I was very surprised because straight then and there she told me you're employed. So normally people will have to wait or they have to interview the rest, a few more things like that. So okay lah, salary wise because my what you call that, my actual workplace is supposed to be in the government though. So actually because of 1 month they want me to train, because even though you say it's a receptionist that's for this ED one. Actually, it's a specialist for ED and things like that. So he wants me to learn because he said we might not remember too many people faces, but we can recognize the person teeth. So he wants me to study about the teeth. So what feeling, if it's feeling, what am I supposed to do, and then if it's extraction, what am I supposed to do? So I need to do because they have a graph where you put the teeth and things like that. So this is something that I need to learn, and then because when they were asking, I mean, we gathered last week. We have a gathering with all the branches. We have 3 branches together. So they were asking about the teeth and things like that. So I mean, how is there any differences in your previous job? And so I told them, yeah, there's a lot of differences because I work in a bank. I don't have to look for customers' file. So when I ask for a customer file, it's all outsourced. The thing is given to me in front, but now I have to look high and low for the files. Because when you look for a customer, they does not put in alphabet order, but they put the center name, especially Chinese. If it's Malay, they follow the first name, and then Indian the first name. So there's a lot of things for me to learn. So today I learned is that how to approach a customer. Let's say there's extraction. What are the right words that I need to speak to them? So 2 of them are, I mean, most of them are my junior because they say when they interview, they did ask me hey, because of your age, would you mind if younger people teach you? I say I wouldn't mind because in the bank, all the junior come in, I say you're always very good in computers. They are the one who teach me about computers. So I mean, we have a good colleagues. Even the doctors are very nice, and then they know that I'm very new, so even the doctors teach me how to see the teeth and things like that. So there's a lot of things to learn, and something very new. It's quite a challenging something to learn, and I thank God for that.
You're never too old to learn.
Number.
Michelle.
Actually, I thank God for my protection. Because every time when I drive very fast, one day, my tire is not very good. I don't know, I drive fast. And then almost reaching the car, I brake, turn the side, like that, bang. I think God protect me. I think.
你有change tire？
啊
？change tire 啦？
没有，没change。
没有 change。
你滑。
等到滑咪好危險。
Raining 好危 ，raining 咯嗰日。
嗰個機會別
Go and change it.
change.
Don't delay. Don't test him. Don't put underline to the test.
No, I'm not testing, but I thank him for protecting.
Yeah. Sometimes our responsibility. The delay in doing things may cost you.
Actually, New Year I order already 4 tire. My friend said no, the tire may move for. Not local, no. I don't know where he ordered.
乜 tire 啊？咩 tire 嚟嘅？
佢嗱個 tire 仔咯 ，SSU
嗰個 brand。
咩 brand 啊？
如果冇 GST 最好換㗎。
跟人，every time I order from him one。浦江你知冇 SSU 浦江隔條間啫。tire is a corner here, no.
So many tire shop where you want to.
No, that is the one. My friend he charge me very cheap one. Give me discount all that. He's a fishing kaki嘛。所以講未嚟，until now I still didn't change. I order 4 嘛tire。
你冇嗰位唔係？你嗰日買tire？
我冇貨。
冇理由咁多啊！
冇理由咁
耐。New Year 到而家。
local, no need to get the imported one
係啦，可以買
local tire
normal Bridgestone OK 嘛，或 Silverstone。買咗都要 Silverstone。如果你Michelin幾貴好似冇。
係咯，我哋嗰啲係
normal Silverstone 都貴。
150幾160我睇。
我哋嘅300幾400
好啦。
咩睇？
我哋唔係買 Michelin，佢哋呢個 brother 問：哇，你咁威水啊！咁你冇 Michelin？你冇做工但仲做佢買 Michelin？你話我？
一條先係
200幾啫嘛。
兩條200幾啊嘛，你一條100幾梗係好貴開咯，值得買啦，你絕對唔值得啦。
It's okay lah. And then I want to pay next time. I go to your shop. 哇，幾個月頭都俾你，我嚟都冇覺得。
哦，那use the local, the other one 唔需要睇。
咩啊？
咪沽出嚟，冇嚟成日都冇貨噶嘛。
冇啦。
點樣做生意
？Nice hello.
So I saw the tank Abba, you know. So one after another thing happened. Firstly, my battery gone out. You know, this time I went to work, suddenly cannot start. So called the mechanic over. The mechanic just in front the junction there. You want to check? Say, hey, battery is still under warranty. You know, so the warranty actually until August lah. So now it's only September, so it's still under warranty. So can claim a new one. Okay? So claim a new one. So after claiming a new one, then I got problem to really start the engine. You know, sometimes it's not one click you will start, you know. A few times, no more clicking sound lah. A few times only you will start. Okay, so that one never mind lah. So go on then the aircon the gas really leak already, so the very warm the car. So I was thinking that okay lah, on Monday I'm going to fix it lah. Firstly, maybe I go and see my friend in Ampang, and after that to fix, I think maybe alternator problem lah. So after fixing, then I go to do the aircon. Then sending my wife to work. So before reaching a workplace, my car overheated. The temperature go up very high. So I have to stop the car 3 times, you know. Stop the car 3 times. The final time, reach the school near her office already. You know, so I said cannot go already. So she walked short distance to her office. Then while there I was wondering what to do. You know, so I think that can I drive to Ampang all the way? So do you think that I just felt a prompting law? I said call the tow truck. Call the tow truck lah. So then I Google lah. I say any mechanic shop nearby. So I found one in Lucky Garden. So the tow truck came. Also a bit challenge this tow truck also don't know the way and use the ways also cannot find. So waited more than 1 hour. The finally he show up. Then tow the car to Lucky Garden outside there. You know, then thank Allah, this man but near Desmond, is a very, very honest guy. Very honest. So I think my car like that I was expecting him to spend more than 1,000 ringgit. You know. Then he check, call me back the next day, you know. Said water pump burst. And then the water hose also hardened already. Then they check, say your radiator, all the water gone, you know. All the water gone. Thank God I didn't dry. If I continue to dry, so hard, you know.
Have to change the radiator.
So he changed the water pump, changed the hose. Then they serviced the radiator, put the coolant, and put in the gas. You know? So only like that. Only charge me less than 500. No, which is very cheap lah.
Toll how much? Tolling how much?
Tolling free one under the insurance.
Oh.
So that one okay already lah. So happy. Then but the starting one got problem lah. Sometimes one click can start. Sometimes a few times only will start.
The starter.
So I thought it was starter. So I drove to see my friend Ampang. So I told him the problem. So I think maybe alternator or starter. So when you check you see this one is the gear problem, the gear shift problem. So you just check a while, less than 5 minutes you fix the problem already.
Oh, okay already.
You know, if other place mechanic, you are sure they will tell you starter problem or the change alternator, this and that. My friend said no, just within 5 minutes he solved the problem. Anything else? Nothing else.
What's the
Okay.
problem? What's the problem? The gear.
No, it's the reverse gear, the switch.
Oh.
The switch was loosened. No, so you just tighten it. So I don't know lah. I suspect that maybe this mechanic after change my battery, replace the battery, he might go and do something there. I don't know. I say all the while no problem, suddenly problem developed. So that one fixed it, okay lah. Then just now on the way to fetch my wife around 4 something lah. Suddenly almost reaching home So the car slowed down Wow, the engine started to jerk like want to die like that. No, engine like that. Wow, I was scared. So one more time going to happen. So I keep praying, say, Abba, let me drive to the workshop, Don't let my car die halfway, If I die halfway, stall halfway, to call the tow truck again, and then it's already 4 something, almost 5 o'clock, Then workshop going to close at 7. I say, how to do, So I keep on praying and say, Abba, you are good, your mercy endure forever. I call upon your mercy. Let me reach the workshop. Really, come managed to reach there. Reach there already. The problem, almost to start already. But I stopped the car already, just in front of the workshop. Then it was actually somebody's else lot. So you run to the next side. So I tried to drive. Wow, the car started to jump very badly. So part there. So mechanic check. You say 3 things are possible to cause a problem. One is a cable problem, one is a coil problem, or the other one is the piston firing. If it's the coil problem, very simple. Just change the 4 for 160 ringgit. Or change the one, then if the coil problem, then it's another 260. If the piston one, it will cost you a fortune. After that, I pray, Abba, just let me be the cable problem will do. And really, check, I managed to call. Now they got the stock. So change it, So just change it, within half an hour. I thought that tonight maybe I had to cancel the meeting, cannot come back. But no, just talk like that. Half an hour counting. So only end up paying only 190. So this shop is actually very good. The man is very, very decent, very honest. He never simply overcharge. The next time you come problem, can really send them.
Where is it?
Bangsa, no, just behind TMC.
Oh. Oh, okay.
The Mantong.
The mama store there, right?
My house. Sometimes my window cannot open. He check. He never charge.
So we thank Abba lah. Sometimes he will really lead us to good people lah.
The customer there look.
So, but one thing I learned through all these things, because this thing is really, sometimes car break down halfway. Sometimes you always break down at the right place, not in the middle of nowhere. You break down the highway or what, you have a big problem. You always break down at a very safe location, at a very strategic place. And so one thing you taught me, I said that never be anxious. Don't panic and don't be anxious. Always maintain your cool and be very calm. Always acknowledge that we are one with Him, that He is ever present with us. And that He really caused everything to work out so well. So He is really good. Amen. Okay, so tonight I just want to share just 2 scriptures with us. Okay, first one, let's turn to 1 Samuel. First Samuel 17. First Samuel 17:26. 1 Samuel 17:36. So this is a very familiar story about David and Goliath. Okay. So here in verse 26, so David was actually on an errand to bring the food for his brother. Now his brother were all in Saul's army. Okay. So David was on the errand to bring food for his brother. So when he was there, he learned that there was a great commotion, a confrontation was happening. Sorry, 1 Samuel 17:36. Right? So David heard the commotion there and he began to make some inquiry. In verse 26, he said that, and David spoke to the man who stood by him, saying, what shall be done for the man who smite this Philistine, and shall take away the reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should reproach the armies of the living Elohim? Right? So David, we understand that at this point he was just a very young teenager. Yeah, he was a young teenage boy, and who has no experience in warfare, in actual warfare. Yeah? But one thing is that he knew who he was. Yeah? He knew who he was, and he knew his relationship with Almighty Elohim. Yeah? Even though he was such a young boy, but yet the way he talked is full of convincing power. Say, who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should reproach the armies of the living Elohim? Alright? So David here, he knew something about this enemy that King Saul did not know, that none of his soldiers knew. Yeah? So imagine when you are in a warfare and you knew nothing about the enemy. So all they can see is that this giant, this Goliath, was so big and so huge and so threatening and so intimidating. So actually he challenged them for 40 days and 40 nights. He says, give us a man that we may fight. If you can kill me, we will become your slave. If we kill you, then you all become our slave. So for 40 days and 40 nights, no one moved. Right? So the two armies were encamped there, but no one made a move until David came upon the scene. Alright? So David, he said what? He said, what shall be done? What shall be the reward of the man who can kill this Philistine and take away the reproach from Israel? So why did David ask this question? Because he was so confident that he's going to win. He was so confident that he was going to win. And he was so confident that he is going to be rewarded. Amen? So nobody else was thinking about this. Nobody was thinking about reward. But David said, what shall be done for the man that can do it? Alright? So he said that there are two things. There are two things that he said about this Goliath. Number one, he is uncircumcised. Okay? Uncircumcised. So what does this uncircumcised mean? So we know that circumcision is a sign of the covenant with God. Okay? So God commanded all the male children, all the male infant, they have to be circumcised on the 8th day. Okay? So circumcision is a covenant sign. So David said, this Philistine is uncircumcised. So what actually he meant by that?
No covenant.
He said that this enemy, it doesn't matter how big, how strong, how mighty, how fierce he may look, But one thing I know, he doesn't have a covenant with Almighty Elohim. Okay? So David knew this one thing about his enemy. This enemy didn't have a covenant relationship with Almighty Elohim. Okay? But I do. Okay? So David, he knew who he was. Because here, every battle that we face in life is actually a battle of character. Then number one is a battle of character. Number two is it is a battle of covenant. And number three, it is a battle of consciousness. Three things. One is your character. Okay? Your character versus the character of your enemy. Alright? You must know that you are a person of character. What kind of character do you carry? What kind of character do you possess? What kind of character do you manifest? Alright? You must know your own character. Number two, and also you need to know the character of your enemy. David, the name of David, it means what? The beloved of the Most High. The meaning of David is the beloved of the Most High. Whereas his enemy, the name is Goliath. What does Goliath mean? You know? What does the name Goliath mean? Goliath means the exposer, or one who uncovers. You know, so the purpose of Goliath in challenging the army of Saul, it is to expose their weaknesses. Is to uncover their glory. His intention is to put them to shame and put them into slavery. All right. So every time you face a challenge, you face a confrontation, it means that the enemy want to expose you. He want to expose your weakness. He want to bring you into shame and slavery. He want to show you how hopeless you are, how weak you are, how helpless you are. Okay, that is the intention of the enemy. Okay, but David knew his own character. He knew that he was the beloved of the Most High. And he also knew the character of this Philistine. Okay, so he is, even though he is so big and so huge, and yet his character is bad. He knew that his intention was to expose their weakness. Okay, number two, David knew his covenant with the Almighty. Later on, in this same passage you read how he defied Goliath. Okay? He said that you come to me with your sword and your spear, right? But I come to you in the name of Adonai. Alright? Said that this same Almighty Elohim who delivered a lion and a bear. Okay, before he faced Goliath, he actually slew a lion barehanded. He slew a lion, he slew a bear. But the lion and the bear, they tried to snatch away the sheep of his father. So David was so faithful, so responsible, okay? And he had no fear at all. Okay? But with the help and with the strength of Almighty Elohim, he killed the lion and he killed the bear. Then when he faced Goliath, he said, "You are next." Right? So what was David saying? David was actually amplifying his covenant relationship with Almighty Elohim. So I have a covenant with him. You know? So because I have a covenant with him, that means that all my enemies will also be his enemy. Okay? Because I have this covenant with him, he will fight for me. That's why he said that the battle belongs to Adonai. Okay? So when we fight ourselves in a battle, there are two choices we can make. Either you fight or you let him fight. Alright? So if you want to fight, if you think that you are very clever, if you think that you are very intelligent, if you think that you can have your way out, you want to fight your own battle, He will allow you. Okay? But if you are conscious of your covenant with Him, okay, it's better that you let Him fight. Okay? So what does it mean that we let Him fight? To let Him fight means that you walk in the Spirit. You walk in the Spirit. You want to fight your own battle, that means that what? You deal with the situation in your flesh. Okay? So what does it mean to walk in the Spirit? To walk in the Spirit is to manifest the fruit of the Spirit. In Galatians 5:22. For the fruit of the Spirit is love. Okay? And then go on. Love, peace, joy, patience, kindness, faithfulness, gentleness. And lastly, called self-control. Okay? So when you walk in the Spirit, you always walk in love, and you always manifest self-control. Okay? Right? So that's how you know you are in the Spirit. So that means that you are not agitated. That means that you are not provoked. Okay? That means that you are not acting with anger. Okay? But you are cool, you are calm, you are having self-control. Amen? So you look at David, the way he talked, he was so full of confidence. He wasn't panicky. He wasn't agitated. He wasn't anxious at all. He was so cool. He was so calm. He was so controlled by the Spirit. Okay? He looked at Goliath. There was no fear in him. Say, you are next. First, I slaughter the lion, then the bear, and you are next. You come with me with your loud noise, intimidating me with your sword, with your spear, you know. But I come to you in the name of Adonai. That means he emphasized and amplified his covenant relationship with Almighty Elohim. Okay? And thirdly, he was conscious. He was conscious of who he was. He was conscious of his covenant with Almighty Elohim. And he was conscious of his past victory. Amen? So what Almighty Elohim has done for you in the past, he will continue to do. You know, the shepherd, they carry a staff. In Psalm 23, he says what? He says, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Okay, so this shepherd, they got these two instruments, you know. Your staff, you know, the staff is actually a long stick with a hook. You know, so that with the staff, if the sheep has gone astray, the shepherd will put the hook around the neck of the sheep and draw it back. That's called a staff. Right? And then on the other hand, he had a rod. A rod is a short piece of instrument. And the shepherd is very skillful using this rod. If you saw a wild animal came out, he will use this rod and throw at the animal. You know? So it's, David was he was conscious of this, you know. My shepherd staff and the rod. Okay? So the shepherd's staff, what does a staff do? So normally in the Hebrew culture of Hebrew family, when the son reaches the age of 12, they will go through a ceremony called Bar Mitzvah. Okay? Bar Mitzvah means that at that time the father will officially adopt his child to be his son. See, before he undergo the Bar Mitzvah, his son is only as good as a slave, a servant only. He had got no right whatsoever to the father's inheritance and everything. So, but once he undergo the Bar Mitzvah, so the father officially adopt this child to be his son. So from that point onward, this child will have authority. Okay? So it was during this Bar Mitzvah that a rod, a staff will be given to the son. You know, so in this rod, normally in the shepherd family, so this staff, the shepherd will always make a carving on this staff. Whenever he had an encounter with Elohim, he make a carving, he make a marking there. Whenever Elohim answer his prayer, he make another marking. Okay? Or Elohim give him a divine intervention, he make a marking. Elohim give him a revelation, he put a marking. Elohim give him a song, he put a marking. You know? So every encounter he had with Almighty Elohim, there is a carving made on this staff. Understand? I don't know whether they make it from the top down or from the bottom up. I don't know. Okay? But this staff is full of marking one. Right? Not like us, you know. We never keep a journal. Today, some Christians keep a journal. Whenever they pray, wow, he received an answer. He wrote down. He intercede for somebody. Something happened. He put down. Or he needs financial need. A financial provision come. He put it down. So for the shepherd, they put a marking, different marking on this staff. You know, and every time he looked at that marking, he was reminded of what Almighty Elohim has done. That's why David was able to say, he has helped me to slay a lion and a bear, because these two were marking on his staff. Right? He said, you are next. I'm going to put another marking there after I kill you. Okay? So David was so conscious as he held his staff in his hand. He knew for sure that he didn't have any doubt. He didn't waver in his faith. He held his staff in his hand. He knew, I am a man of character. I'm a man of covenant. And I am so conscious of the greatness, the almightiness of my Elohim as he holds the staff. And that influences the way he talked to Goliath. Okay? All the other rest, King Saul and all the army, they were trembling in fear, but not David. Okay? Because he knew every battle is a battle of character. Your character versus the character of the enemy. Then number two is a battle of covenant. You enter every battle knowing that you have a covenant with Almighty Elohim. But when you look at your enemy, you don't have a covenant. You are uncircumcised. So because you don't have a covenant with Almighty Elohim, I can conquer you anytime, anywhere. Okay? So when you're faced with cancer, what do? You have a covenant relationship with Almighty Healer. But what about the cancer? Does cancer has a covenant with Almighty Elohim? No. Cancer doesn't have a covenant, so you can conquer cancer. So anything that doesn't have a covenant relationship with Almighty Elohim, you can conquer it. Amen? And you must be fully conscious of this. You must be conscious of who you are in Christ. You must be conscious of what you are in Christ. You must be conscious of where you are in Christ. Okay? So the moment you forget these three things, who you are, what you are, and where you are in Christ, the moment you forget it, you begin to falter. You begin to fall, you begin to fail, you begin to fade. Right? So you're always conscious of your character, of who you are, of what you are, of where you are. And always be conscious of your covenant with the Almighty. Okay? So these three things are character, covenant, and consciousness. Alright? So these three things will determine what? It will determine the condition of your life. Whether you are going to have peace or whether you are going to panic. Alright? So when you face some challenges are normally people, they panic. They don't know what to do. They panic and they become anxious. Okay? They lose their peace. Okay? So when you have these three things, it will determine your condition. You are always a person of shalom. Okay? Make that declaration. I posted in our chat group. I am a person of shalom. I refuse to be anxious. I refuse to panic. Okay? No matter what the condition may be. You have to watch out, sometimes when things don't work out, see how your reaction. A lot of people, they will panic. They don't have patience. Oh, things like that happen. And you watch, and the word that comes from the mouth is no good. Okay? So, your covenant, your character, your consciousness will determine your condition. And it will determine the consequences. What is going to happen out of that circumstance. Okay? Once you panic, the outcome of the circumstance will be different. Once you remain in perfect peace, the outcome will be different. You realize that or not? The outcome, the consequence of the circumstances is dependent on these three things. So what will happen if David he suddenly become panicky? So the whole situation may end up in a different manner. Okay, so your condition, your consequence, and also your conclusion. So what shall be the conclusion of your life? Okay, so when you are at the lowest peak, when you find yourself at the lowest valley, the lowest point of your life, you still have the authority to say, this is not how my life is going to conclude. Amen? This is not going to be the conclusion of my life. At the lowest point of your life, you always have the authority to say, this is not the conclusion of my life. This is not how my life is going to end. Okay? So what is the thing that will cause it? It is the perfect shalom in your heart. Okay? When you have perfect shalom in your heart, everything is going to end well. All is well, and all will end well. Okay? When you have the perfect shalom in your heart, you know that all things is going to work together for your good, and all things is going to work together for your favor. Amen? Turn with me to Psalms 37, verse 37. Psalms 37, 37. Psalms 37, verse 37. Say, watch the perfect and observe the straight. Okay, what he's talking about? He's talking about the person with character, the person that has a covenant, the person who lives in divine consciousness. Right? Watch the perfect man. Watch the upright man. Okay? The perfect and the upright are people of character. People who live by covenant, and they are always conscious of Almighty Elohim. Okay? And then he said what? And for the later end of each is peace. There is a conclusion of their life. Peace. Peace. See, the conclusion of your life should be shalom. Shalom is wholeness. Shalom is wellness. Shalom is victory. Shalom is blessing. Shalom is prosperity. Shalom is victory. That means that you always end your life on a glorious note. you always end your life on a positive note. Amen. Okay? So you always remember, you enter every battle, okay, by knowing your own character and the character of your enemy. By knowing that you are in covenant with Almighty Elohim and your enemy does not have a covenant. And you are always conscious of the presence and the power of Almighty Elohim in you. Goliath, confident is in his what? Is in his spear, is in his own strength, is in his own sword, is in his past experience. Because he has slain so many people, he thought that he will continue to do so. But until David stopped him. Okay? So Goliath was conscious of his own strength. He was conscious of his own weapon. He was conscious of his own experience. But David was conscious about his Elohim. Amen? Okay? So this is a very simple message, but you cannot afford to forget it. Okay? So when things are turning from bad to worse, when the unexpected turn shows up in your life, when the thing that you don't expect begins to happen in your life, then don't panic, don't lose your cool, don't start to swear and curse, don't start to blame people. Always maintain your cool. Always be self-control. Okay? And the assurance is that Almighty Elohim will always show up and turn the situation around. Amen? Amen? Okay? It really does pay. You know? It really brings a lot of benefit when you really maintain your cool. Alright? So everything is based on these three things. Okay, firstly, you have to ask yourself, are you a person of character? Okay? Are you righteous? We are. We are all the righteousness of Christ. Righteousness of Elohim and Mashiach. You know, you go into every battle with a sense of righteousness. Amen? Not with a guilty conscience. Not with a sense of condemnation. Right? Like our Najib, okay, he going into this trial with a false sense of righteousness, okay, false sense of innocence. You know, he is pretty good at that. He still say that I'm not guilty. He still say that he is upright and righteous. No. He showed no remorse. He's never sorry. He said, I don't know what is happening. Everybody may think that he's a fool. But I say, that's what I am. I'm innocent. I'm not guilty. I don't plead guilty. I don't know what is happening.
I will take months to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Not guilty. You want to delay time.
See, Almighty Elohim is teaching us something, showing us something. You know, if you were in the shoe of Najib, how would you react?
Shy as shit.
You feel shy, you feel shameful, you feel remorse, right? You cover your face, you know. But he still walk with his face little high, and he still want to sue some of the lawyers and some of the judges. But that is a false sense of pride, a false sense of righteousness. It's a false sense of innocence. Right? And we know that he will surely fall. But we have been given the true sense of righteousness. We have been pronounced not guilty anymore. We have been told we are not under a condemnation anymore. We are not guilty. We are not under condemnation. And we have been declared righteousness, no, by Almighty Elohim. And how come many of His children are still faltering? You have been given a true sense of righteousness, and yet you refuse to be conscious about it. You know? What does Romans 8 say? Say, if Elohim is for you, who can be against you? Who can lay any charge against the children of Elohim? So no one can judge you. No one can find fault with you. No one can bring any charge against you. This is what the word declares. But yet there are many Christians, many believers, they still falter. When people bring anything against them, they got scared. Okay? But that is not. You must be like David. The greater David lives in us. We must know our character, must know our covenant, and always be conscious that our Father is with us. He's not only with us, He's not only for us, but He has become one with us. He's not just in us, He's not just with us, He's not just for us, He's not just upon us, He's not just around us, but He has become one with us. That is the ultimate already. Now our ultimate experience and enjoyment of Him is oneness with Him. That is ultimate already. Okay? Every time you face every situation, I am one with the Father, with Him. I am one with the Most High Elohim. I am one with the miracle worker. I am one with the righteous judge. I am one with El Shaddai. I am one with the divine healer. I am one with Yahuwah, Rohi, Yahuwah Sabaoth. You know? So declare your oneness with Him. And that is how you confront and you conquer all your enemies. Okay? But today, many are still lacking of this. They're lacking of the consciousness of their oneness with the Father. That's why I say every day, you have to declare you are one with the Father. How many times you declare today? Huh? You see, you never learned the lesson. You have to declare more than 100 times every day your oneness with the Father. Okay? I always declare. You never learn slow. Matthew, how many times you declare?
Once.
One time only. Katie, how many times you declare?
Now,
How many times?
no.
Forget also. Don't do that. You know, every day I declare, Abba Father, you are always awesomely good to me. Abba Father, thank you. You always yearn to do me good with all your heart and with all your being. I declare more than 100 times a day, and I really see His goodness. You know, this is the ultimate, your ultimate experience with Him, because the reason He came is not just to forgive our sin, it's not just to deliver us from hell. The reason He came is that's why He said that I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but by me. Okay? The purpose of Him coming is to bring us to the Father and bring us into oneness with the Father. That's why He lived His life on earth and He do His ministry on earth by always declaring His oneness with the Father. If you can declare that, you have reached a level of maturity in the spiritual life. If you are still not able to declare that, you are still missing out a lot of things. Alright? What does this oneness with the Father within mean to you? Does it mean anything to you or not? Or are you taking it something very lightly? So if you refuse to acknowledge your oneness with Him, that means that you are facing everything in your life on your own. Okay? So you have to declare your oneness with Him. Okay? You have to declare your oneness with Him.
Did David kill a bear and a lion? Not stated in the Bible.
God.
Oh,
God.
read Samuel.
Huh?
Samuel.
God. It's in there. No, let me give you the scripture. It's in the same chapter. He mentioned that.
Well, I thought David Crockett killed a bear when he was only 3. Huh? I confused with David Crockett.
1 Samuel 17:36. This is what he said to Almighty Elohim. From verse 34 onwards. 1 Samuel 17, verse 34 onwards. 1 Samuel 17:34 onwards. Here it says, but David said to Saul, your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion and a bear, when a lion, is what, a lion or a bear? Actually, it's a lion and a bear.
Oh, one.
No, actually it should be a lion and a bear. In King James it said, in King James Bible it said, and David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear. It cannot be all. If we say all, that means he is unsure. No? But he said a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock. Okay? So what happened? In verse 35. I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, and struck it and killed it. So barehanded he killed, he slew. And verse 36. Verse 36. Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear. You see, it's two.
Yeah.
So in verse 34, it cannot say, it cannot be all. It has to be and.
Even the Orthodox Jewish Bible is and.
The and is and. There is a mistranslation, cannot be all. Say, your servant has killed both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, because he has defied the army of the living Elohim. Okay? So he clearly states how Almighty Elohim has helped him in killing the lion and the bear. So he said that this same Elohim will help me also to kill this Goliath. Okay? So this is not just a story, right? This is our real life encounter. So when you face a Goliath may come to you in different form, by different names. Okay? And the thing is that Goliath doesn't have a covenant with Almighty Elohim, and you can always conquer it. Okay? It doesn't matter how big, how strong, how loud, how fierce, or how numerous your army is. One thing you know, you can confront and conquer them all, because they don't have a covenant relationship with God. Okay? So learn to value your covenant with Almighty Elohim. Okay? Your oneness with the Father within. Okay? So please declare it every day. Don't let a day pass without you declaring your oneness with the Father within. If you learn this lesson, you will go very far. You will literally conquer everything. If you have not learned this lesson, you are still in the merry-go-round, or you are still in the wilderness. Okay? You must be willing to be more than conqueror. A lot of Christians are not willing to be more than conqueror. No, they rather be conquered than to conquer. Right? So learn to conquer all your problem lah. Conquer your enemy. Right? Yeah. So the first enemy to be conquered is yourself. Okay? He that conquer himself is better than he who conquer a city. So you are the first enemy. You are your own greatest enemy. And you must conquer yourself first. Not conquer Satan. Conquer yourself first. If you cannot conquer yourself, forget about conquering anything else. Amen? Alright? I hope you are encouraged by this sharing tonight. Let this take you very far. Okay? Abba Father, we thank you, we praise you, we bless your wonderful name for this short and yet very essential message that you have spoken to us tonight. Help us to be people of character, because we have received your life, and we have received your mind, and we have received your ruah. So we are to be a people that have divine character. And help us always to know that we have a covenant with you. And because of this covenant, our enemies are also your enemies. And because of this covenant, all that we are, all that we have are yours, and all that you are and all that you have are ours. We have joy, ownership. And help us always to be conscious of our wonders with you. For this is the way that you have shown us how we can confront and how we can conquer all our enemies, because our enemies do not have a covenant with you, that we can easily, boldly confront them and conquer them all. Yes, we thank you for reminding us that we are to be people who are perfected in our spirit, people who are upright, people who are righteous, and our end shall be peace, shalom, wholeness, and wellness. Let these words sink deeply into our heart and into our consciousness, that we will learn to rise up and be the great champion you have ordained us to be, and to be more than conqueror to you who love us. This is what our destiny that has been ordained for us, and this is what we want to be. Thank you, Abba, for this precious word tonight. Thank you for teaching us how to prevail in every aspect of our lives. For we are the conqueror, not the conquered. We want to live for your glory. We want to live for your pleasure. And we want to go forth conquering and conquering and conquering by your ruah and by your word. So let this be our daily portion, our daily experience in you, even as we walk in you every day. But even as we give unto you tonight, we ask that we will give like a mighty conqueror, knowing that in the seed there is great power to break curses, to break limitation, to break everything that should not hold us down and hold us in bondage anymore. Yes, may this seed be super rich, be super productive, and super powerful. A seed that will bring forth bountiful harvest for many seasons of our life. Receive this seed even as we release it into your good ground, and let your harvest be released unto us. In Yahushua Almighty name.